So you guys, so I'm really pumped to be back. It's been a bunch of months since my last video, but I've got a really good one. I hope it doesn't get too long. I'm going to be talking about the Hirajoshi scale. Now this is a scale I first found out about when I was about, I don't know, 15, 16. I was a huge fan of Jason Becker. Obviously I listened to a bunch of cacophony with Marty Friedman, so they both just go nuts over the whole Hirajoshi, and it's just pretty cool. As you can see, we got Kitty back there, and she says Hirajoshi. It's pretty cool. But yeah, let's get to it. So in today's video, like I said before, we're going to be talking about the Hirajoshi scale. Now, pretty cool thing about it, it's actually a pentatonic scale. What this means is you get 5 notes within the scale. And it actually looks quite a lot like the minor scale. If you look at the intervallic construction, it's actually 1, 2, flat 3, 5, and flat 6. So it's almost like you're just playing some of the notes of the minor scale. But those specific notes actually give you a really cool, real interesting sound. So this is actually how it sounds like. The other cool thing about the Hirajoshi scale, as like any other scale, you can actually figure out the different modes, and there's 5 modes. So there's a mode from each of those notes. Now the other interesting thing is you can actually look in different spots, almost like as if you're doing substitutions, but I'm going to leave that a little bit for later, and I'm just going to continue talking about the 5 specific modes. I'm also going to be relating them to the modes within the major scale, because as I just mentioned, the Hirajoshi actually looks quite a bit like the minor scale. So you can actually take a couple notes off of the minor scale and you technically get Hirajoshi. So the cool thing is you can actually figure out the different modal application as it pertains to the major scale. So technically you can find something that functions as Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. So even though you do have just 5 notes and just 5 modes, you can find 7 different applications. Actually, there's more than that, but we're just going to be looking at those applications as they pertain to the major scale and different modes within the major scale. Same thing is going to happen with harmonic minor, because again, 1, 2, flat 3, 5, and flat 6, it fits perfectly within harmonic minor. So I'm going to go into the modes of that. But again, before I get into all of that, I'm going to be talking about just the modes of the actual Hirajoshi scale. So the first mode is pretty much just the Hirajoshi scale. Again, 1, 2, flat 3, 5, and flat 6. The second mode we're going to get is actually pretty similar to Locrian. So you get 1, flat 2, 4, flat 5, and flat 7. Now let's go to the third mode, and that one has a construction of 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7. Now, as you can tell, they all have a little bit of quite some differences in the actual construction. Now this is going to be cool because you could shape them to fit over different types of sounds. Now let's go to the next mode, which actually has a construction of 1, flat 2, 4, 5, and flat 6. Now finally we have the last mode that, as it kind of relates to the major scale, and it's going to be 1, 3, sharp 4, 5, and 7. Obviously that's the one that works pretty much as Lydian. Now that we have the 5 different modes, let's go into how they work with the actual major modes. So let's talk about the major modes. So the first mode we have is Ionian. Now before I actually get into this, if you don't really know the modes that well or how they function and over what chords they work, I will be talking about them just a tiny bit, but I think it's better if you actually figure them out before this lesson. It's going to work a lot more If not, you can still use this lesson because I'm going to be talking about specific chords and how you can play the specific scale or the specific mode of Hirajoshi over that chord. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is Ionian, obviously. And over Ionian, you can play the third mode of Hirajoshi. Why? Because you get that major sort of sound. And as, again, if you relate it back to the major scale in the different modes, this is the one that fits within the major mode, or Ionian. And as we know, Ionian works over a major 7 chord. So that third mode of Hirajoshi is going to work also against a major 7 type chord that functions as Ionian. Now, the second mode we get is Dorian. Now, I kind of wanted to get to Dorian and the other mode out there that doesn't really have a mode, a pentatonic mode. And I came up with what I'm calling non-modes. These are just pretty much substitutions, or just in layman words, terms, I mean, it's just pretty much playing the pentatonic from a different position that's not, in a way that it doesn't even have the root note in there, but still it actually works, and it actually works as Dorian. And I actually figured out 3 different non-modes so that they can all fit over the major modes and over the harmonic minor modes. And the first non-mode that I actually figured out is the one that works with Dorian, and it actually has a construction of 2, flat 3, 5, 6, and flat 7. So it's going to work perfectly against Dorian, because again, the notes just match. If you wanted to compare it or just look at it in more of a parent scale relationship, just go from the whatever chord you're playing. In this case, it should be some type of minor 7 chord. Go up a 5th from there and play your Hirajoshi scale, and you're going to be good. It's going to sound like that first non-mode. Actually, that's going to sound something like this. The next mode within the major scale is actually going to be Phrygian. And we're going to be playing the 4th mode of Hirajoshi over a minor 7 chord to get that Phrygian type of function. And I've actually created a PDF which contains the different scale patterns, different ways of actually visualizing the Hirajoshi scale all over the neck. And I'll also written out the different modes of Hirajoshi, the non-modes as well. And the link that I did right at the beginning of the video. It's all going to be on there. And you can find it on my Patreon account over at the $5 tier. So you can find that there, and you can find pretty much everything else pertaining to all my different lessons here on YouTube. And to be honest, it's just $5 a month. Pretty much buying me a cup of coffee a month for some cool information, I guess. Or what I think might be cool information. I don't know. You guys decide. Now on to Lydian. Lydian is going to be working with mode number 5, which again has that sweet sharp 4 in there. Makes it nice and Lydian sounding. After that, we go to Mixolydian, and with Mixolydian, we have another non-mode. So let me go over this specific non-mode and explain how it works. Now with this one, what you want to do is you want to go up a 2nd from the chord. So if you're in C7, you're going to play D Hirajoshi. And what you're going to end up with is the 2nd non-mode of the Hirajoshi scale, which actually has an intervallic construction of 2, 3, 4, 6, and flat 7. And that's why it works perfectly within Mixolydian. Now next comes Aeolian, and Aeolian, super simple. It's pretty much just play Hirajoshi over the same chord, which is a minor 7 chord. Now finally we have Locrian, and you're going to be playing the 2nd mode of Hirajoshi over a minor 7 flat 5 chord, which is the chord that actually pertains to Locrian. So that's not too hard right there. Now, time to go into more of the harmonic minor functions. I'm gonna try to go over these just super quickly because I don't have a lot of time. My battery's actually running out a little bit. It's also kind of late over here. So with harmonic minor, your first mode is going to be harmonic minor, and you're just going to play Hirajoshi over that harmonic minor function. So if you have a minor triad, minor major 7 chord, you can play Hirajoshi over the top of that. It's going to sound like this. Next mode is going to be Locrian natural 6, and you're going to be playing the second mode of Hirajoshi over the top of that. It's going to sound like this. Next up is Ionian sharp 5. You're going to be playing the third mode of Hirajoshi, and it's going to be working over the top of a major 7 sharp 5 chord. Next up we have Dorian sharp 4. It's kind of interesting because you're going to get the same non-mode that we applied for your normal major scale Dorian, so non-mode number 1. Simple as that. Next up, Phrygian Dominant, which is one of the favorite harmonic minor modes. And with this one, we're going to be playing the fourth mode of Hirajoshi. And it's actually going to have a really good sound, really good ring to it, because you're going to have you're going to get that flat 2 and that flat 6, which are just so characteristic of that Phrygian Dominant or Mixolydian flat 2, flat 6, flat 9, flat 13, whatever you like to call it, wherever you study, whatever you want to call it. It's going to have that specific sound of that mode. Next up, Lydian sharp 2, and we're going to be playing the fifth mode again. Getting some weird sounds back there. So, same as with Lydian, we're going to be playing the fifth mode of Hirajoshi over the top of that Lydian sharp 2 type of function. Finally, we have altered double flat 7 or altered diminished, whatever you want to call it. Same thing as the normal altered scale, except you get a diminished 7 or a double flat 7. I know, double flat, kind of fancy. And with this one, we also get a non-mode. So this is non-mode number 3. And with this one, you're going to get a flat 2, a sharp 2, a 3, a flat 6, and a double flat 7. So this is going to be really good for any type of application where you have a diminished type of chord, and it's going to sound exactly like this. Now, the other application you could pretty much get away with is actually playing it over the top of a dominant chord or an altered dominant chord, because you're going to have that flat 2, you're going to get the sharp 2, you're going to have a third, you get a flat 6, which can be seen almost like a sharp 5 as well. And you're going to get that natural 6, and you're going to get Kitty back there licking herself. And there you have it, you guys. You get the 5 modes of the Hirajoshi scale, and you have 3 non-modes or substitutions or whatever you want to call them. The point is, you get a ton of different applications. Pretty much 7 modes of major, 7 modes of harmonic minor. Put them together, you get 14 different applications for the Hirajoshi scale. So I hope that's good enough for my comeback video. Haven't done these in I don't know how many months. But yeah, good news is my album's done. It's gonna be out soon. I've still gotta get some work done with that, but it's pretty much finished. I have it there on my computer. Hopefully a couple months from now, you're gonna be able to listen to it. That's pretty much it for today's video. Remember, you can follow me on any type of social media. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, obviously on YouTube. You can also check out my website, juantoromusic.com. Got a ton of cool stuff there. I got my picks, got my book, The Art of Scale Weaving, and you can also check out the different box sets that I have with the wonderful guys from Guitar Tutorials. Also, if you want to take private lessons, you can reach me over at my website, and we can arrange that as well. All right, thanks for watching.